So that was September 11th. That was that Monday. So I get a call that Tuesday and from the principal again. So Miles had said, "What the hell?" And she said the para said that he said, "What the fuck?" again. But I just can't get him to admit it. So I asked her, I said, "Well, where is he?" She said, "He's standing right here." So I said, "Well, put him on the phone." Now, to be give a little insight into how I parent. I don't believe in interrogating children. I don't believe in trying to catch a child in a lie. And that one I think I get from my mama because you're not going to sit here and lie to me in my face. And I know you lying to me. Like, I'm not going to ask you the questions that spawn the lie when I know the truth and I know you, my child. So, but also, I try not to ask him questions in a demanding tone when I want the truth out of him because listen, I want to coach you. I want to coach you into this, like let me be kind and let me be soft and get the information first and then decide what I'm going to do instead of, I'm already reacting. So I asked him, buddy, hey, buddy. He's, hey, mommy. Um, I said, what you doing? And he said, in the office. And I said, well, why are you in the office, buddy? He said, because I say something. And I said, okay, so tell mommy what you said. And he told me, now, let me tell y'all something. Again, smart kid, right? At this point in time, he is attempting to switch from what the fuck to what the frick. Okay. I mean, I think it's kind of smart. Although I wouldn't tell him that in his face, I feel like he's got to have a reaction phrase, but I know it can't be what the fuck. So I asked him, I said, tell mommy what you said. He said, I say what the hell and what the frick, but I didn't say something else. So basically, what he's telling me is that he did not say what the fuck. And for context, he gets in trouble for saying what the frick the same at home as he does at school. And by the way, I don't say frick. If I'm going to say fuck, I'm going to say fuck. And so this you learned at school. You did not learn this. I mean, people can blame YouTube or whatever, but he did not know this phrase until he went to school, which is fine. And so we kept telling me, he didn't say something else. And so I told him, I said, okay, I said, I want you to turn around. I said, I want you to apologize to your principal. And I said, and I want you to stop. And so she told him, she said, buddy, we got to get you to stop, cursing and this, that, and the other. I'm like, be quiet. So when he got back on the phone, I said, I'm just really concerned at this point in time. I'm saying parent like my grandmother. At this point in time, I'm concerned that y'all are now reinforcing him cursing. Y'all are now doing it because when you ask him to repeat it, why are you asking him to repeat it? And so, she goes, well, we have to know. I said, no. If the teacher heard him and the teacher knows he said it, it's instant correction. I shouldn't have to be telling educators this. You know what I mean? And so I told him, I'd see him and he understood the consequences. The consequence was if you curse, if you keep your hands to yourself, you get to ride your scooter. If you curse, if you don't curse, you get to blow bubbles. So he understood that he don't get to blow no bubbles today. All right. He didn't even get to ride the scooter because I believe by the end of the day he had hit somebody. So give me just a second. Okay. And so he comes home and I had told her that day, I was like, yeah, I said, well, I've got an appointment in the morning, but I'm pretty much available all day tomorrow if I need to come up here, which was that Wednesday. So I go to my appointment, then I go to go get my nails done. So I'm sitting at the nail shop and my phone's ringing and it's the school. Now at this point in time, I'm really feeling like I understand that my kid is inconvenient. He's hard to deal with right now. But what if I had to work every day? What if I was one of those parents? See, they say parents don't show up at schools. Some parents can't show up because they might lose their jobs. So I'm sitting, I'm thinking, what if I was at work right now? So I answered the phone and she told me, she said, I need you to come in. I need you to meet the behavior strategist is here. I need you to meet with the behavior strategist. And then I'm gonna need you to take him home with you. I've been wait. The only reason why I haven't, called you this before now is because she was getting on my because I knew that you had an appointment this morning, which was a lie. Okay. Because when other people started questioning, Miles was at lunch when this happened, which meant that this didn't happen this morning. And it's just so funny to me how people will just lie just to make a situation. Okay. If he said what the fuck, then he said what the fuck. But don't try to make it seem like, oh, we've had him up here all day and we've been doing you a favor. I mean, please. So I'm sitting at the nail shop and I'm feeling away. And I called one of my cousins. And let me just give some background. So I'm calling my cousin because me and dad both work shift work. So this is his night to go in on night shift. And I don't want to wake him up. I come from a shift work household, and the most important person is the person who's on night shift. Like, that's just the way I was raised. The person who's on night shift has to sleep. So it is encoded in me to not wake up a person who's on night shift. So I called my cousin and I said, hey, will you run up here to the school with me? Because I really feel like they are trying their hardest to drive me so that I will take Miles out of this school. I said, I really feel like they're treating him like this because they feel like no one else will come up to the school besides me. And so my cousin said, he said, I don't mind going with you, but do me a favor. And so I said what he said, call his daddy first. He said, I don't want to overstep him as his father. He said, if his daddy don't answer the phone, then I'll go with you. He said, but if you call him first. And so I respected that. So I did. And he instantly answered the phone. I actually expected for him to be asleep. Like, I expected to have to call my cousin back. So he said, no, no problem. I'll meet you up there. So I left and I went up there. And I get there and I'm looking for my kid. They got this little side office. And so he's in the office. And so we'll go sit down. And then he sees his dad, and he sees his daddy, kind of shocked because, dad's a quiet guy, but he doesn't like to upset his daddy. And so he wants to know what's going on. And I just, sit him down and say, hey, buddy. And I said, hey, he said, what's going on? And he told me, I say, what the hell? And so I know I can't ride my scooter or get bubbles today. I try again tomorrow. Now, first, let me say a little bit, that was progress. Because if you told him no to anything at this point in time when we started school, everything was an explosive temper tantrum. So now he's starting to understand, try again tomorrow, you know? So I told him, I said, you can't say that. You can't say the things that you've been saying. And I said, and we'll talk about it later. Okay. Now I'm being real gentle, just like this, because let me explain something to you before we get to the next part. One of the things that I detest now is how adults get off on children being humiliated. And if your ego needs for a child to be humiliated, something is wrong with you, you know. So I talk to my child to get information. I don't talk to my child to get a rise out of humiliating him, you know. Next part.